Opa! Welcome to my holiday, because I can't afford to go on real vacation. So today we are gonna make some baklava. It's a Mediterranean delicacy made with layered phyllo dough and nuts and cinnamon and sugar and honey. It is super delicious and I can't wait for you to make it at home. So first things first, I've got a pound of phyllo dough. You can buy this frozen at the grocery store. So this has been thawed. We're just gonna roll it out. And I'm gonna leave this on my cutting board. And to make sure that this doesn't get dried out, I'm gonna put a damp towel over the top. This gets dry really quickly, and if it gets too dry, it will get super brittle, and then you won't be able to work with it, and then dessert will be ruined. The next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna make our cinnamon sugar mix. So I've got some regular old granulated sugar, clove, and cinnamon. So the origins of baklava are quite debated. We know that this is a dessert that was basically all over the Mediterranean area. The earliest that we think this recipe may have been created is actually back in the 8th century BC by the ancient Assyrians. And then it traveled all over what used to be the Ottoman Empire, and we know that it was perfected in the palace of the Ottoman Empire by the chefs there sometime in the 15th century. So this is a very old dessert. But there's no reason to change it because it's delicious. And so the versions that you see today are pretty similar to how it's been made for centuries. We've got our cinnamon sugar mix. Now we are gonna mix together our nuts. So we've got some finely ground pistachios and some walnuts. You'll see this in all kinds of different versions of this. They use different kinds of nuts. Some people use almonds, some people only use walnuts, some people only use pistachios. We're gonna mix it up, okay? That's how I feel about that. Okay, so now that I've got my cinnamon sugar ready and I've got my nuts all mixed together, now it's time to start buttering some stuff. There is so much butter in this dessert, so much butter. I've got just a plain old half baking sheet with some parchment down on there, and we are just gonna butter the heck out of it. Let's get our first sheet of phyllo. So this is what the Greeks contributed to baklava. This super paper thin, you can almost see through it, dough. And we are just gonna layer this layer by layer. And now we just keep going. This is a painstaking and tedious process, but I promise you it is worth it. Great guys, this is gonna be really entertaining for you. So because this was a luxury dish, there's actually a saying in Turkish basically saying like, I am not rich enough to eat baklava every day. That is like a term of like, no, that is too expensive. I couldn't do that. We're getting close, we're getting close. So basically I am layering about 1/3 of this phyllo dough. And then we're gonna sprinkle with nuts and cinnamon sugar. La da 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 da. So we know the cinnamon and the cloves was the contribution of the Armenians because they were merchants on the silk and spice trade. So that's what they contributed to this recipe. Tore that one. It's fine, everything's fine. Is that the tagline for this show? It's fine, everything's fine. I'm gonna say this is 1/3 of the phyllo dough. So now that we're there, now it's time to add in our first layer of deliciousness. So I'm gonna take our cinnamon, sugar, and clove mixture and sprinkle about half of that over the top. And nuts. I'm sorry, nerds. Where did that come from? That actually came from the other food stylist in the building. So that's not even a me thing. That's just what we call them in the studio. And now I'm gonna do the exact same thing I've been doing. Feel free to fast forward through this part because you've already seen it. So we're gonna layer more phyllo, then we're gonna do more nuts and cinnamon sugar, and then I'm gonna layer again. So this is like really thrilling stuff. But I just wanna like ask you how your lives are, you know? Put the rest of the nuts on there. Ding! Why am I so weird? So now we're just gonna layer the last 1/3 of phyllo dough over the top, and then I promise you we are almost done. Oh God, I might need more butter. It's a butter emergency, I'm almost out. Wonder where this full bowl of butter came from. Nothing to see here, folks. I only have 2 layers left, so like we're really in the home stretch now. Okay, the penultimate. This is the penultimate layer. Vocab word of the day, penultimate. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so the last step before this goes in the oven, we need to go ahead and score our diamond pattern on top. So we're gonna go ahead and score in a crosshatch pattern before we even go in. That's gonna help us keep these from falling apart when we do cut them the rest of the way. Our goal is to make 2-inch size diamonds. So we're just gonna start cutting. And I'm basically just going through the first layer of phyllo. And y'all know I can't see in a straight line, so I'm gonna do the best I can. I'm just gonna freewheel it. Great, so now, whoa! Our baklava is ready to go in the oven. This is gonna go in at a preheated oven at 375 for about 35 minutes until it's super golden brown. It's gonna smell awesome. So in we go. Now that our baklava is in the oven, it is time to make this delicious honey syrup that gets poured over the top of it. So we're starting with a little bit of water. Now we're just gonna add the rest of our sugar. We're gonna use some delicious honey. There we go. Ooh, I really thought I was gonna have to struggle with that for a minute, but I hulked out, so it's fine. Oh yeah, you getting that? This is about a cup of honey. Now we gotta add a little bit of sour, so we're gonna do the juice of 1 lemon. Oh boy, it's on my face. The last step, we're gonna use orange blossom water. Orange blossom water is the contribution of the Lebanese culture to this recipe. This is basically a super floral note to this recipe, so it's gonna really amp up the flavor of the nuts. 1 tablespoon. It's pretty strong, so you don't need any more than that. So all we're gonna do now, I've just stirred this together. We're just gonna let this come up to a boil and then bring the heat down a little bit, bring it to a simmer, and we're gonna let it simmer for the rest of the time while the baklava is baking. See, 2 things at once. Gorgeous, gorgeous golden brown, yeah. Tell me that's not beautiful. That is a beautiful dessert. So you can tell it's a little poofed up, don't worry, it's gonna settle, it'll be fine. So we've got our honey syrup, that's still warm. We got our hot baklava. We're just gonna pour this syrup right over the top. Now comes the hardest part of this. Now we have to wait at least 4 hours or overnight before you can cut into this because all of that honey syrup is gonna soak into the phyllo dough and the nuts, and it's gonna make it even better. It's gonna be so good, but we have to wait for like forever. But not here at Smart Cookie because I made one yesterday. Boom! We made one yesterday because we're smart, because we're called Smart Cookie. All of our honey syrup has soaked into this. I'm just gonna follow along with the score lines that we made yesterday and go ahead and cut this into our diamond pieces. Moment of truth. Does it come out of the pan? Yeah, it does. Oh yeah, look at that guy. You can see we got all the kinds of layers in there. Flaky crunchiness on the top. Super ooey gooey honey on the bottom. I mean, money. That's happy dance good. The top layer is super crunchy, and then you get all of these sweet and spicy nuts, and the honey syrup at the bottom is really delicious, and it's super floral from that orange blossom water. It's truly a delicacy. It tastes really luxurious. Somebody else was saying like, it smells like a fancy place. And I think that's a good description. It's really good. I hope you had fun on today's episode. If you did, make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, ring that bell, all the things. Let me know how it goes. And let me know if you have an idea for a recipe that you'd like to see. All right. See you later. Uh-oh. Nuts on the floor. Clean up. Aisle 2.